All right, time to finish off the show with rapid reactions. A lot of topics, a little bit of time. Take it away, Drink.
Let's roll, baby. The NFL removed its masking requirements for vaccine players and staff yesterday. Great news, right?
Great job, guys. It's almost like they followed what the CDC said and something that I think we kind of already knew. You go outside, go ahead and take your mask off. I think you'll be fine. I've been doing it for a long time now. Anyways, Bucks wide receiver Antonio Brown is being sued for $30,000 stemming from an altercation with a moving truck driver back in January of 2020. That amount of money seems kind of light to me. How about you?
This version of Antonio Brown, let me tell you what, it might not be so light. At some point, and when he was on his best behavior, he probably was snuffed at this. But now 30,000 might really put a hold. Listen, man, just when you thought Antonio Brown was like getting rid of the nonsense, and come on, Antonio, man, pay the man, do something. You got to get your name out of the headlines for the wrong reasons. Keep it in the headline for that 1 yard touchdown you caught in the Super Bowl. That's what you need to be working around. Not all this other nonsense. Come on, man. God, I know all media ain't like correct media, but hey, man, do something. You got a lot of people around you. Tell them to fix this up. Packers coach Matt LaFleur said he wants his quarterback Aaron Rodgers, and I quote, back in the worst way. You feel the same way would you feel the same way if you was in LaFleur's shoes?
Oh yeah, I would. Because Matt LaFleur, he know what time it is. He know if Aaron Rodgers don't play for him, then they ain't gonna be as good. And like him and old Gutekunst, they won't Aaron Rodgers leaves, they ain't gonna have a job much longer. Because I don't think Gutekunst or LaFleur are all that impressive. So yeah, if I'm Matt LaFleur, I'm doing everything I can. Like Aaron, come on back, man. We need you. We'll figure it out. ACC Commissioner Jim Phillips says he isn't against college football playoff expansion, but wants a more thorough assessment conducted before his decision is reached. That sounds fair, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Listen, and I understand where this ACC commissioner coming from, because here's the deal. Like he and probably the Big Ten commissioner and the SEC commissioner are like, listen, here's what's trying to happen. We understand the reason that this whole playoff expansion is coming is for, should we say the name, the Pac-12 and then the group of 5 teams. Because they don't cut it enough to make it in the top 4, at least not since Washington was in. So he's saying, listen, don't rush into this just to please them. Make sure that everybody's incorporated. I don't care how many times we made the playoffs. I don't care how many times the SEC made the playoffs. I don't care how many times the Big Ten. Don't try to cut us out because you're tired of looking at our conferences. So I appreciate what the ACC commissioner had to say, and I definitely agree with him. It sounds fair to me. Chicago's White Sox first baseman Jose Abreu and Kansas City Royals third baseman Hunter Dozier both exited game one of yesterday's doubleheader after a nasty collision after a Dozier pop-up. What was your thoughts when you saw this?
I saw this live. Happened to have this game on, and then I had to rewind it. Just like what happened here? And I mean, Dozier pops up like in front of home plate, kind of on the first base line, and like inexplicably, he just like has his head down, not looking where he's going, and then Abreu is like coming in to catch the pop up, and they just smack right into each other. And I'm just like, I think Dozier, like, I know he's struggling. I think he's like 0 for his last 31. So I get it. He's frustrated. He's struggling. But you got to have some awareness and pick your head up because now he's on the injured list, from this. So, I mean, have some awareness and, like, look out for each other, guys. So, fortunately, I think Abreu's day-to-day. So, hopefully neither one of them out too long. NBA Hall of Fame inductions are tonight. No disrespect to Kevin Garnett and Tim Duncan, but I think they'll be a little overshadowed by the late Kobe Bryant. What do you think, Drink?
Right, absolutely, for obvious reasons. Listen, they all getting into the Hall of Fame, so I'm pretty sure Kevin Garnett and Tim Duncan is like, listen, we getting our jackets, we getting our ring, and they understand. Everybody understands this. Like, this probably gonna be a big moment for Kobe and his family, and most people are gonna tune in because of that. Like, I mean, I like Tim Duncan, probably the greatest power forward to play the game. I like Kevin Garnett too, but I don't think you're getting more eyes to the set just because it's those two. Like, let's keep it real. Like, most people gonna watch and they're gonna feel, they're gonna have emotions and all this stuff going on in their head and their hearts because of Kobe Bryant. So I think it is fair to say they're gonna be overshadowed. But like you said, no disrespect, those guys are still Hall of Famers and they deserve every accolade they're gonna get. The St. John's Red Storm has given reigning Big East Coach of the Year Mike Anderson a 6-year extension. Fair deal?
Probably so. And I think it's St. John's. It seems like that's a school like we've heard for like years now. Like it's just been a revolving door of coaches. They tried Chris Mullen at one point. They tried various other like big names. Now they get Mike Anderson in there. It looked like he got him kind of going in the right direction. And I think I read a stat like he's one of 3 active coaches who's never had a sub 500 year. So he's got a great track record of respectability. So I think it's good. Gives some little bit of stability to the program. So I think it's fine. The Vikings have traded cornerback Mike Hughes and a 7th-round pick in the 2022 NFL draft to the Kansas City Chiefs in exchange for a 6th-round pick in the 2022 draft. The needed move for the Chiefs.
I mean, yeah, they can use some secondary help. Mike Hughes, I don't think he's playing up to the snuff that the Vikings really wanted him to play. So they was willing to give up on him, but I still think Mike Hughes got some game. I think he still got some upside. He still got some future to him. So I'm not mad at it. And listen, you didn't break the bank. You gave up a little something, and he could possibly be a diamond in the rough for your secondary if you're the Kansas City Chiefs. So I think this is definitely a good move for the Chiefs. And listen, one thing I think they learned in the Super Bowl, you can't take this for granted no more. You have to go out and do what you got to do, because when you thought you was going to win 3 in a row, 4 in a row, 5 in a row, you found out last year, you might want to be prepared. So I think it's definitely a good move, and I think the Vikings can use the picks too. I mean, it was a guy they felt how they felt about it, so it was what it was. Former Panthers quarterback Teddy Bridgewater criticized some of the practice habits during his one season in Carolina under Matt Rule during an interview on the All Things Covered podcast. What do you think of his comments?
I didn't know Teddy Bridgewater had this in him. This kind of surprised me a little bit that he would take a shot at his old team. I think his criticism was mostly like anything they spent enough on red zone practice and the 2-minute drill and the like. So, I don't have a problem with like the content of what he's saying, but like just seems like a little bit of a low blow now that he's out of there and like taking shots at Matt Rule, who was in his first year, Joe Brady in his first year. So, I think there is some merit to it, but seemed like a little low blow since he's out of there. All right, last one tonight. It's UFC 262, Oliveira versus Chandler on a plethora of networks on the ESPN family of broadcasting. That's going down at the Toyota Center in Houston. The main event is a lightweight title fight between the number 3 ranked contender Charles Oliveira and the number 4 ranked contender Michael Chandler. Who you got, Drink?
So the main event, like the lightweight title, it's for the vacant title. Both of these guys, Michael Chandler just came off a co-main event win at UFC 2, I think it was 260 or 259, one of the two. Oliveira just come off himself a main event win over the number 5 ranked fighter in the lightweight division, Tony Ferguson. So these guys are fighting out to see who get Dustin Poirier next look like. But anyway, to the fight itself, hey, you got a good contrast of fights. You got Charles Oliveira, a Brazilian jiu-jitsu master, very good on the ground. But then you got Michael Chandler, a guy that came over from the Bellator MMA umbrella. He was the best fighter over there. He came up, stepped it up in competition. He's a striker. But I'm going to tell you like this. When you fight at this level and you come to the UFC, I usually go for the guy that's been doing it longer. I like Michael Chandler. I think he's a hell of a fighter. I think he deserves this spot. But I'm going to have to go with Charles Oliveira. He's just been doing it longer in the UFC. He's fought UFC level competition longer. And I think he knows this is his opportunity to get the belt. And I think he's going to capitalize on that. So I'm going to take Charles Oliveira and probably, some type of ground choke, BJJ, somewhere between the 3rd and 4th round. So I take Charles Oliveira by submission.
All right, that concludes today's Drink of Wisdom. As always, like, listen, share, subscribe. Thanks for joining us. I'm Jay Watts.
And I'm Nathan Drinker. And remember, make tomorrow better than today and make today better than yesterday. And you know what we gonna do. We gonna holler at you until next time, baby.